Now, in the mid-1990s, Germany's most iconic automaker stood still. Porsche, revered for its purity, worshipped for its engineering, was quietly bleeding. Cars sat unsold, factories slowed, costs ballooned. The company that built legends was drifting towards silence. And then they did the unthinkable. They turned to Japan, not for design, not for inspiration, for efficiency. They asked Toyota how to build. On one side, Porsche, handcrafted, proud, mechanical poetry from Stuttgart. On the other, Toyota, humble, relentless, precise. The Porsche way worshipped perfection. The Toyota way worshipped flow. Their tools were different. Their tempo was different. By 1994, Porsche was producing just 14,000 vehicles a year and losing money on nearly everyone. Every car was touched by dozens of hands. Too many options. Too much waiting. It was art, but it was slow, expensive, and flawed. The system had to change, or the company would die. So in secret, Porsche brought in a group of Toyota-trained consultants. They didn't ask for new engines. They asked, why is this part sitting idle? They didn't touch the car's design. They touched the floor tape. And they taught everyone to see the invisible. Waste, bottlenecks, waiting, redundancy. To many at Porsche, it felt like betrayal. Why take notes from the company that builds family sedans when you craft road sculptures? But slowly, resistance turned to rhythm. Tools found new places. Steps disappeared. Teams flowed like water instead of bricks. By 1996, assembly time per car was cut nearly in half. Parts inventory dropped by 70%. Quality soared. Cost shrank. The 911 was reborn, not redesigned but resequenced. The result? A car that drove the same but was built twice as smart. Porsche didn't just survive. It became the most profitable car maker in the world per vehicle sold. And all because it surrendered, not its soul, but its pride. German precision, guided by Japanese discipline. It wasn't defeat, it was evolution. Sometimes legacy is preserved not by gripping harder, but by opening the hand. This is not a story of technology. It's a story of humility. What do you protect? What are you willing to change to survive? Would you bow to stay standing? Subscribe and like for the next story.